This video I hope you'll find interesting, and it was inspired by Paul, who asked me to talk about cartridges that are bigger and based on the 30-06 case. And of course he even mentioned, or you even mentioned, Paul, the 35 Whelen or Whelan, depending on how you pronounce it. And then the 9.3 by 62 of course came to mind right away. And so I went into the vault and I started thinking about my experiences hunting. And I obviously don't have a hunting channel. You won't see me running around the woods filming things anytime soon. I'm more of a collector and try to share my experiences. So my conclusion, I think, is quite interesting, and as I just said, I thought about this video a lot, and here's what it boils down to, and maybe you'll agree with me, maybe you won't. But something happened at some point, and velocity became apparent as providing a couple of things: a very flat trajectory and spectacular performance in the game fields. And those things are undoubtedly true. With velocity, the bullet gets to the target quicker, so that's self-evident. And then because of the extremely high velocity, assuming reasonable bullet construction, you'll get some spectacular performance. So then I started thinking about shots that I've seen, shots that I've made involving these hyper velocity rounds like 7mm Remington Magnum. It's not really hyper velocity, but you know what I mean. 264 Winchester. I think I talked before about my 6.5 by 68, which accounted for some unbelievable things. And then there are the more mundane cartridges like 243 Winchester, and now people are running around with 223s. This seems to be the thing to do. Whether I agree or not doesn't matter. My conclusion will be interesting to you, I think. So on the table I have a Ruger Model 77 in 35 Whelen. That's this gun. I bought this, it came with a walnut stock. I forget where I got it, Lipsy's or somebody, I don't know. And it doesn't matter. I'm not sure they manufacture them anymore, but they must be around. And anyway, it doesn't have to be a Ruger. I just like Ruger because I had a lot of experiences that were good with them, and so it becomes kind of a sentimental thing. So this is the typical Ruger Model 77. The gun is, the rifle is nothing exceptional, except that it's very accurate. I got rid of the walnut stock. I mean, I kept it in the factory box. I go to the gun shows and I buy these, they call them boat paddle or canoe paddle stocks. Of course discontinued. People mock these stocks, and then they go out and buy Bell & Carlson or, you know, whatever, and they're all good, but I see nothing wrong with this stock. Actually, I view this as one of the toughest stock. You can buy these for $50. People mock them, like I said. They make fun of you for actually buying them from them. Anyway, this is the 77 in 35 Whelen. So we've got the bolt action, and I'll just show you the other rifle. And as you know, I think the Remington 760, and this is actually a 7600, is one of the candidates for the ultimate hunting rifle. I know they're discontinued, and apparently they may discontinue them completely. They've got different model designations now. So I mean, it's the ones to get were the 7600 and the 760. You can't know how slick that is. And then I didn't do all this. I bought this. I mean, sometimes it's amazing what you get at the gun shows. It's flat new. I don't know what year it's made. It's easier to look up the codes. And the fellow thought of everything. It's got the see-through mounts. It's got, is that Williams? Yeah, Williams receiver sight. And by now you know I like those. So if you want a rate of fire, see these glossy stocks? I usually, just because I can, I usually replace them. This doesn't look like a stock that you would want on a rifle like this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this comb. I fitted this, so it's for a 760. It was for a 257 Roberts that I just sold. But anyway, I'm going to take off the comb and work it down and then fit it to this rifle. I think and I'll probably take this hunting. But getting back to the main point of the video, I'm not sure what your experience is with the 35 Whelen, which is here, and the 9.3 by 62. But all these theories about velocity and light bullet weight, so we have 223s with 69 grain bullets, we've got 243s with 80 grain bullets and 100 grain bullets, and people are going out and getting good results. But if you think about the fundamentals, I guess it's a lot like boxing. There are all these lightweight events, but if you have to accomplish something reliably and like all the time, I think you go for mass. And I think anybody who studied physics understands that. And certainly the colonial powers that set up countries in Africa and all over the place. I mean, Germany came up with the 9.3 by 62, which is similar to the 9.3 by 74R. That's why this box is here. And I used a lot of 9.3 by 74Rs in different applications. They never fail. If you have a big job to do, or any job to do, just send mass. Mass defeats everything. Now, the 35 Whelen, I actually like it better. So this is 9mm and this is 9.3. So these bullets tend to be heavier in the 9.3 by 62. And the 35 caliber is 9mm. And I mention that for European viewers. And it also gives you an idea. You could use any 9mm bullet for practice in the 35 Whelen, which I do. And it's excellent. So anyway, you go in the field, you don't know what you're going to run into, you don't know what brush is going to be involved, and in fairness to whatever you're after, you just can't go wrong with a 35 Whelen. Arguably, the 35 Whelen is maybe the best, most practical round. Somebody would say the 9.3 is better, but then you sacrifice even more trajectory because of the mass of the bullet. But that Whelen is unstoppable. It has the power, the mass, the consistency, tremendous accuracy. It's probably a very balanced cartridge in terms of bore diameter and the amount of powder you're burning. It's not a short cartridge, and nor do I necessarily agree with the short cartridges. They may have a ballistic efficiency and they burn more powder in the case, but for a rifle action to handle a short case is challenging. Not that it isn't overcome, but this length of case didn't come into being for no reason. The people that designed the 30-06 at Springfield Armory and the 7x57 and the 8x57 overseas could have picked any length of cartridge, and they picked a length that facilitated efficient and foolproof operation, and these retain that length. And this 35 Whelen is fantastic. If I had to pick between these two, naturally I'll take the bolt action just because of reliability. And with this stock, you can run through swamps after moose or whatever you have in mind. I realize you're restricted by regulations in some African countries. They want even more caliber, which tells you something. Those were colonial countries before they gained their independence, and they know that you may have a cartridge that fires a bullet at 7,000 feet per second, but you're not allowed to use that. You have to use a cartridge that has a projectile that has mass. You just can't get around the colossal importance of the heavyweight boxer. And this isn't quite a 500 Nitro Express, but I wouldn't hesitate to go after anything, anywhere with this 35 Whelen. And you can increase the sectional density by using longer, heavier bullets. And there are a whole variety of bullets made for this cartridge. So this is one of the few ones that I still reload for, just because of time. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend the 35 Whelen as one, if you had to have just one. Yes, you may not be able to make the 500-yard shot, or maybe you will, but in the real world, 300 yards is a long ways. And we always see the hits on YouTube and all the rest of this stuff because the people don't film the misses and the woundings and other stuff that goes on. And the 243, I love that cartridge, and I like the Creedmoor, and I like all those cartridges, but they have limitations. They have specific applications. The Whelen and the 9.3 by 62, they really don't have any limitations. And I've seen in the field some spectacular fails with the 243 and cartridges like that. They may perform really well, but they don't have, the bullets are lacking mass. And last thing I'll mention is, yes, there's some recoil. It's true. This thing kicks. But I don't remember recoil ever when I'm hunting. And it doesn't matter what I'm shooting. Recoil is gone because adrenaline is going and there are other things on one's mind. So in summary, yeah, probably one rifle. I mean, I could probably have a custom 35 Whelen made on a Mauser action or a pre-64 Model 70. And there would be nothing that you wouldn't be completely properly equipped to handle. Whether it's a whitetail at 100 meters, these big bullets, they just punch right through. You're not going to have a whole pile of bloodshot meat or anything like that. And reaching out to 300, I think that's fair enough for any game. And if there's something further away, I always tell people, well, get closer. That's almost, 900 feet is a long ways. Anyhow, I hope that all makes sense to you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.